full 2 hours of dancing. Midnight hits. I pull that woman off the bar. We get in my car. I drive her home because I haven't been drinking. I'm sober. I got in my 2 hours of dancing. Baby, that's cardio. I'm good to go. There's nothing else I need in life. And the best part is you're out of there before it gets too crowded, too sweaty, too weird, and too just college bar. If you guys thought that this was a one-way street, you are wrongfully mistaken, because I want to hear from you. I want to talk to you guys and hear about your questions, your problems, your thoughts, or things that you want to hear on upcoming and new episodes. And you can do that now with a new segment called Anna Answers, where you can ask me anything and I, Anna, will answer. So I'm going to give you a fan line to where you guys can call in, and you might not get me personally, but you will be getting my voice on voicemail. And I cannot wait to hear your beautiful voices. And maybe, if you're lucky, you get to be premiered on my podcast. So the number you want to give a ring to is 323-433-0683. And each week I'll dive deep into something that either I'm struggling with or you're struggling with, and together we'll map out a guide to where we want to go. So don't forget to give me a call. Once again, the number is 323-433-0683. And I cannot wait to hear your beautiful voices soon. Well, guys, welcome back to Anna's Guide. I'm so happy that you're here, and I can't believe it's episode 3 already. Literally, what the heck? I say that like it's episode 50. We're only 3 in. You know so little about me. The party is just getting started. And the truth is that today's episode is why I don't drink. And this is probably one of my most asked questions, maybe one of my most popular topics on TikTok too, where people wonder, what's the reason? What was the reason? Okay? It is a question of, did I struggle with alcoholism? How did I get here? Have I ever drank before? Is it religious? It's not very popular, except it kind of is now. It's a little bit more popular now to not drink in today's culture, but at least when I stopped drinking, which I was too young to have even started drinking, it was not the most popular thing to not be drinking yet. So, truth be told, this episode is all the behind the scenes of why I chose and kind of continue to make this decision of not drinking in my life. And I personally love this decision. And I think that it's a good thing. And I think that there's things that we can learn from it. I think I'm still growing in the not drinking and like still gaining confidence. There's moments that I think I fall into this idea of wondering what people think about me, or feeling embarrassed because I don't fit in with people who are drinking, or thinking that I'm lame, which like wouldn't be a surprise. But for today's episode, we're answering the question, how do you heal your inner child? You'll see how that plays into the episode. But the truth is that there's going to be fun topics every single week, and you can check them out, usually posted on my Instagram story at AnnaXSitar, or at the Anna Guide on Instagram as well, which is the podcast page. And I would love if you followed along if you just want to keep enjoying this little journey. Now, the usual, my favorite game, Rosebud Thorn. I want to have an applause right there. It's like you guys are applauding for me, okay? Why is no one applauding in this room? I'm kidding. Oh, stop. Wait. I'm kidding. I just heard that the new wave, actually, that's going to be my rose of this week. You guys have to tell me if this is something that I misinterpreted as being funny. I heard that we aren't waving like this anymore, and we're not waving like this anymore. We're waving like this. That's my rose. I don't know why. I love that my rings clink. Like, I love that it has like a little I don't know. I like it. I'm a fan. Big fan. So that doesn't have to be my rose of the week, but I would just like to add a cherry on top that I really enjoy. That, I don't know. I thought it was funny. Anyway, my Rosebud Thorns. If you guys don't know what this part of the episode is, it's one of my favorite segments, which is not invented by me. It's probably invented by an elementary school teacher somewhere, where you give your rose of the week, which is your blessing, your bud of the week, which is something to come, and your thorn, which is like the no thanks of the week. And today I'm giving you mine, because that's how we kick off the episode, to really get these emotions flowing. This is like a good therapy lesson. I actually usually like to start with the thorn, because then I just get it out of the way and I can like cushion it with other good stuff. It's like a sandwich. My thorn of the week. I said I had trouble with my mental health last week, so I feel like I can't double down and say that twice. But okay, here's my thorn of the week. My car cracked its coolant container along the seam that the plastic is supposed to be shut. And I didn't know. I went to go get an oil change in a drive-through oil change. The guys open my hood and they go, do you want to take a look at this? And you know it's bad news when somebody starts a conversation with one of those. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Yeah, I know a lot about cars. I'll come take a look. I walk around the front, coolant spewing out of the compartment. That's like the plastic part that's supposed to hold all of my coolant. They're like, yeah, that's empty. We'll top it off, but you really got to get this checked. And I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I called my dad, as one does, and I was like, so, Father, what is this about? I like just found out that my coolant container is leaking, and it turns out that it was actually like a huge deal. I knew that it was a big deal. Like, I knew that was like, you need coolant to like keep the engine temperatures low. Like, I'm talking like engine could have like kaputted if I hadn't realized that the temperature was rising on it. So I got that fixed. Thankfully my car was still under warranty, so I didn't have to pay for it. Hallelujah. I guess that's like kind of a little bud in there as well, or a little rose. But I did have to go drop off my car for a few hours, and it's always that awkward thing where like they take it from you and then you're like, so when am I going to get it back? And they're like, I don't know. So I've been without the Jeep for a little bit. But the bud of this week, the thing to come, I just found out that my boyfriend's little sister is coming to visit, and I love visitors. I love a visitor. So I cannot wait to be decorating my home, making my little care packages like I always do, planning out what the week's going to look like, getting all my reservations in order. That's my bud. And my rose, we're going to stick with that my car got fixed. That's such a blessing. I'm like in LA, it's hard to get around if you don't have a car. So I'm sticking with that one. That like the fact that I had it figured out before it got really bad. I'll take whatever blessing I can get. Now, this week's episode, let me just tell you a little something before we get into it. And it's that I have a little disclaimer. I want to make sure you guys are like as aware of this as possible. I just want to make something super clear because I know some of my audience might not be 21, which means that drinking does not apply to you. And if you are under 21, I highly recommend you wait, personally. I know that you might hear stories. I know it's kind of trending. I know the internet really romanticizes, and culture in today's society really romanticizes drinking. But I would like to add that if you or someone that you know is struggling with alcoholism and you need help, to please call 1-800-622-HELP, which is 4357. Once again, that's 1-800-622-4357 to find treatment centers, support groups, community-based organizations. I also just really want to make sure that this is clear that I'm not encouraging drinking. You're about to hear that I started drinking underage, just transparently. And I don't want that to be setting an example for anyone. I would not change what happened because it led me to where I am today, and the fact that I really learned something about myself in that process and chose not to partake in alcoholic activities. But I will say there's an element of this that I just want to make sure you guys are being safe. You should never get behind the wheel of a car or take alcohol from someone that you don't know or don't trust. You should pour all of your drinks yourself from containers that you saw get open. I just want to make sure that that's really clear before we get into a topic that might seem lighthearted because I'm talking about my own personal experiences that I've worked through, but really are serious topics. And I don't want you guys to think that it's a joking matter, because it can be scary, and I want you all to be safe, and I want to take care of all of you because I'm happy you're here and I want to keep you here. Okay, I love you. Let's do it. The ultimate question that comes with when I started drinking is, what happened and why did it ever stop? And the truth is, my first drink was actually a wonderful experience. I don't think I need to get into too much of the nitty gritty. A lot of people wonder if I struggle with alcoholism, if it ran in my family, if I stopped drinking because it didn't have good control. Did I have a horrible tolerance? What could it have been? And the truth is, I had a great first drinking experience. I actually got drunk at a music festival. A bottle of wine and Hosier. Are you kidding? That sounds like a dream come true. The first time I blacked out was Iggy Azalea. But listen, never mind. That's a bad joke. I had a great time the first time that I started drinking because it was something new and something exciting. I stopped drinking before I should have even started, probably. But when I was younger, I grew up in the Midwest. As a lot of you know, I grew up in Michigan. And all my friends, for the most part, grew up drinking with their parents, which is kind of crazy. But I think a cultural norm for that area. You're in the cornfields. I think everybody cracks a beer. A lot of parents say, hey, I'd rather see you drink with me than drink alone and not know how to handle it later. So there was kind of this unspoken normalcy about drinking. My family was not at all like that. At all. Matka was not chill. I never saw alcohol in my own home. Neither of my parents drank really growing up. Like, my dad would have a beer in celebration with like a fancy dinner, or my mom would have like half of a wine cooler during movie night, but very rarely did I ever truly experience like drinking in my own home. So for me, it did feel like this kind of taboo, what could be over there energy, and I think that's why it had a bit of an appeal. So I started drinking when I was very young. I don't know if I want to say the exact age, but I was pretty young when I started drinking, and it was just kind of something fun to do. And like, you go with your friends, and I thought I could handle my alcohol really well until one night I did not. And I think that was a really big pivotal turning point for me in my drinking story. And at that age, I was 17. I was not out of high school yet. I was a senior in high school, and I had gotten sick from what I had drank. I had drank too much. Honestly, I didn't really understand the idea of pacing myself. That just came with the immaturity of drinking. And because of that, I got super, super sick all night long. It was a school night. Literally, what was I thinking? But that led me to kind of just have this bit of a like existential awakening where I was like, why am I doing this? And I know what you're thinking, like at 17, who was really thinking about the rest of their life? But truthfully, I had like a come to Jesus moment where I was like, this isn't me and this isn't who I want to. I hate how I feel after it. I kind of hate how I feel when I'm on it. Like, there's a part of me that just thinks I'm funnier and cooler and happier, but like, am I really? I don't really like the anxiety that comes with the next morning after, and all those experiences had taken place so early that I was like, you know what? I don't know that I really need this in my life, and I don't know that it's really benefiting me. Okay, guys, I feel so official because today's episode of Anna's Guide is brought to you by Command Brand. Command makes it easy and worry-free to create a space that reflects who you are with damage-free hanging products. Our first sponsor. What the heck? What are we doing? But life is so much more joyful when your space reflects you. But making every space in my house feel unique and special, like my podcast studio, to me can feel more trouble than it's worth. However, Command products are here to help make it easy. I use Command strips all over my house because I feel like my style is ever changing. I can never decide where to put something and leave it, so Command strips allow me to take stuff down and put it back up easy peasy. Even in this space, I have an editing bay right behind you guys that you can't see right now, but my wall is covered in little photos of my friends, so I can use Command products like their poster strips to put my pictures on the wall and be able to check out my friends and just have this nice little encouraging photos that keep me going when I'm in the editing room. So if you want to spice up your college dorm or new apartment just a little bit, keep some Command products handy, whether it's a cute string light above your bed or a functional hook for your many back to school outfits, or for me, I keep my little cooking, my apron? I keep my apron on a Command hook in my kitchen. She could go away, but she's there now. Command Strip has got you just like they've got me. Visit command.com to find where you can buy Command products this back to college season. So I'm going to remove myself from it. And honestly, if I choose to start drinking again later in life, then I will. But for the time being, like, it's not for me. It kind of traumatized me, honestly. Getting sick was, you don't know what it is in the moment because obviously you're trying to hide the fact that it ever happened at that age. But, like, could have been something so much more serious, or could have gotten so much serious. I had no idea, like, the risk I was at that age. And so when I decided not to drink anymore, it seemed like a very easy decision because I probably shouldn't have started in the first place. And like I said before, when I was drinking, truthfully, even at that young age, all I was like the same version of myself but elevated. But on the reverse side of that, as soon as I would start coming down from the buzz, from the alcohol, from the drunk, I would suddenly start seeing my own self as less funny and less flirty and less happy. And that was something that I didn't really want to feel. And I knew that the only thing that alcohol really was helping with in this scenario was maybe some confidence, maybe making up for some insecurity that I already had that was pre-existing. And because of that, once I had gotten sick, I was like, you know what? I think that if I just worked on myself a little bit more and was maybe a little bit more socially aware and better at communicating and more of a people person, I could make up for that lost buzz by just existing. And so the truth is that you don't need alcohol to be more yourself. Okay, so what comes after high school? College. And once I got to college, it actually was pretty easy to uphold this ideal of not drinking. I think the weirdest thing in college is that there's maybe a little bit more peer pressure. People don't know you as well. They don't know your background as well. And you're meeting a lot of these people for the first time. So I mean, I think that there's just something where drinking in college is a very accepted culture, no matter what age you are. And I just hope that that also goes to like anyone who's young and going into college. I don't need to be scared. Like, people are going to be like, you must take this shot or we can't be friends. If they're talking to you like that, they're not your friend. Okay? But I also want to add that there is something to drinking that I actually can understand the appeal of it. In college, think you're in a room with all brand new people that you've never met before in your life. A little liquid courage could go a long way. You could like talk to the boy that you like or the girl that you like, or, you know, have a little bit more confidence to join in on the conversation. Or maybe you break out your dance moves because you've had a couple drinks. Like, there's stuff to alcohol that I do see the appeal of it. And I never felt like there was never a reason to feel out of place because I knew everyone in the room was just as awkward as I was deep down, whether I was drinking or not. Even if they had a little more liquid courage, all it meant is that for me to step into those scenarios, I would have to find that somewhere else in my body, which truthfully, as an extrovert, that comes a lot easier. I love people. I love making people laugh. I have no fear of embarrassing myself because embarrassment is just a judgment of other people. You can't get embarrassed if you don't care that much. So I really didn't have an issue with like going out and dancing or going to the bars every night with my friends or going to frat parties or like finding my way into spots or being a little bit cringy with my friends because it was funny at the time. Just because I think that I kind of like built up a tolerance in a way to the fear of drinking. But in a lot of these scenarios, I can remember times where I did try alcohol again, or I did take a sip, or I kind of got peer pressured into it because it was like, oh, we're all doing it. Like, what, you're going to leave us out? You're going to make us feel isolated. I think there's a big element of this where it's like, if you choose not to drink, I think people think that you're judging them for drinking. But most people, I think, like, not to be like, if you're a good person, but like, if you're not drinking, I don't think you should be mean and judging people who are. I think that everyone's entitled to their own opinions and life choices. I don't think it's my job to babysit every person in the room. And that being said, like, I think the people who are drinking just have to feel like you're in on it in order so that they don't feel like they're being judged by you. And that's okay. That's so normal. I think that if the roles were reversed, I would feel the same way. But truthfully, I'm more worried too that everyone is judging me for not drinking, and they're worried that I'm judging them for drinking. So as long as you can break that barrier with your friend group, which might take a couple times of them getting drunk and you not, you can live in harmony all together. Drinkers and non-drinkers, the sober and the not sober. It's like the most beautiful collaboration of people who love to do crazy shit and people who love to remember it. Like, okay, it can be wonderful. So there's no reason to fall into these things of peer pressure because you will never be happy. And truthfully, they will probably not be happy with the result of it because I don't think anybody wants to see me drunk now. I would be a sick little anxiety-filled mess. So yeah, don't fall into peer pressure. You're allowed to make your own decisions. And I think that's really great if you stand your ground in what you believe in. So what's it like, Anna, socializing without drinking? Thanks for asking. That's a wonderful question. It's actually so much easier once you start. I think everybody will say this. I'm going to tell another little story, guys. Now I'm in a story kick. I went to Nashville and I got left in Nashville. Brew had to go to work somewhere else and I stayed in Nashville for an extra night. Bumped into these college girls. This is going to be such a fast story. From Clemson. Girlies, I love you. I miss you every day. Okay? They convinced me to go out with them. Okay? They were college girls from Clemson going out and I'm like 26 and I was like, guys, I think I'm a little too old to be going out with you. And they're like, we're going dancing. And I was like, well, I don't drink, so like I just hope you guys know like that up front. 3 of the girls didn't want to go out, but they were like, oh, you don't drink? I don't really want to drink tonight. And I was like, do you want to go out and we can not drink together? I swear, once you rip the Band-Aid off, and maybe these girls will attest, maybe they hated it, I felt like we were vibing. And guess what? I was home by midnight and had a wonderful time. I think that's one more element that I want to touch on about this whole socializing thing. Is that when you go out, especially during college, one of my favorite parts was that I would go out. Okay, let me crack the code for you guys. If you're in college and you want to know how to do this, I'm going to tell you right now. You go out at 9 p.m. The kitchen's still open for 30 minutes. You sit at the bar. You order French fries. You eat French fries, dipping them in ranch. Katie was more of a ketchup girly, but I'm a diehard ranch girly. We eat the French fries until 9:30. They close the kitchen. We finish off the fries. They take it away. We order a Sprite. Katie orders her first drink. I moved to Shirley Temples. We drink Shirley Temples and whatever Katie's drinking, usually a Jack and Coke, honestly, until like 9:30 to 10. 10 o'clock hits, dance floor opens. Katie and I, first ones on the dance floor. Full 2 hours of dancing. Midnight hits. I pull that woman off the bar. We get in my car. I drive her home because I haven't been drinking. I'm sober. Take her home, we go to bed, wake up the next morning, do it again the next night. Because you're home by midnight. We're getting at least 9 hours of rest every night. I'm not hungover. I can do whatever homework I want to do the next night. I got in my 2 hours of dancing. Baby, that's cardio. I'm good to go. And the best part is you're out of there before it gets too crowded, too sweaty, too weird, and too just college bar. Like, it gets weird after midnight, okay? If anybody's ever been to a college bar, like, no one really wants to be there anymore after midnight because then the dance floor is too filled. I can't be, like, moving my arms wide. I'm hitting people. Also, another fun fact, if you feel like not drinking at the bar and you're in the Midwest, I cannot attest to this in Los Angeles. I'm so sorry. But in Michigan, I could go up to the bartender and say, I'm the DD tonight, and they would give me free drinks, free Sprites all night. I did Sprites with extra lime because it kind of looks like a vodka soda, so then no man comes up to me trying to offer to buy me a drink. Crack the code again. And so if you honestly are in like little Midwest bars, for the most time, they'll give you like super cheap or free sodas for the whole night if you tell them the DD. And that's the other thing that I want to get into. One of the reasons that I really enjoyed this in college is I felt like I could take care of my friends. Now, I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, I was their protector and the reason that anybody made it home safe. No, I want them to have the best time. I wanted them to make whatever decisions they wanted to make all night long. But I did want to make sure that nobody was walking home. Nobody was like getting in the car with the wrong people. No one was getting in the wrong Uber. Nobody was getting dragged up by like someone scary. The good news is that I at least knew that I could find everyone at the end of the night and take them back to where they belonged and make sure that I tucked them into their bed, kissed them on the forehead, and said goodnight. There's something that's so pure that I love so much about being able to take care of the people that I love. Like knowing that they had a good night and a great experience out at the bar, and I was able to even be a small element of getting them home so that they could live their life carefree. Like, I wasn't hurting because I wasn't drinking, but I was making sure that nobody else was hurting because they were. So keep that in mind too. That's like one of my favorite things is like, I just always knew we had a safe ride home. Even now in LA, the best part about going out is like my car's parked down the street. And whenever we want to leave, we can leave. If something goes south, if something gets weird, I mean, in my college town, it's like sad to say, like my college town was kind of known for drinking. I went to Western Michigan University. Guess the nickname. Western. Like it was literally known for like being a party school. And I was there sober, but I have so many horrible, tragic stories of the wrong Ubers crossing the street without looking because they've had too many drinks and thought the car was farther away. Like people going home into the wrong apartments and like opening the wrong door. And that made me sick to my stomach to think that could happen to like someone that I knew personally. I can't even tell you the number of times I took random girls home from the bar that I was like, you should not be going home with that man. He's giving bad vibes and I'm not going to let you make that decision right now. You can text him in the morning, get his number. Like there's just so many times where you can like just be aware. And even on the vice versa of that, it's like, also, you're so aware. Katie and I have classic stories that we still quote and talk about today that she will never remember, but I will. I will hold it over us for the rest of our life. That is like the glue of our friendship is embarrassing stories of like people sending us shots at the bars or like things that men screamed at us that I'm like, Katie, do you remember what that guy said? And she's like, no, tell me again. And like, I love that we have those little stories. So I don't know. To me, that makes it so worth the social aspect of like, even if you're scared to talk to people when you go out, man, everyone's just having a good time and doing it together. And everyone, whether you have alcohol in your system or not, is just as nervous to be there. That's the thing. Everybody thinks that everyone has this like main character imposter syndrome where like everyone thinks that everyone's living in their own little reality. Nobody actually cares all that much what you're doing. Like that's maybe a little harsh to say, and I don't mean that in like a sassy way, but I'm worried about not looking silly and not looking immature and not looking like cringy for not drinking or like I can't hold my alcohol or like people thinking that I'm an alcoholic and that's why I can't have a drink in front of me or something. Like that's what my brain is thinking. But everybody else is thinking like, oh my gosh, how am I going to go talk to this person? Or like, is there anybody else in this room that I know? Or what if I embarrass myself tonight? And then what if I get too drunk? And then what if I don't impress someone? And what if the girl that I like walks in? Or what if the guy that I like walks in? Or whatever the story may be, it's always this interesting thing where like we're all living in our own little realities anyway. Once again, do the one that makes you happy. Live in the one that makes you feel like your best version of yourself. If you're sober curious, this is one more idea too that I just saw in my notes. And it's that if you want to try not drinking, try doing activities that don't involve drinking with your friends. Like, for example, I mean, I hope you would not do this, but like go go-karting with them on the weekends, or go like do a sporting event, like go play pickleball. I mean, I guess you could drink while playing pickleball, but like I feel like physical activity kind of feels like get that sunshine, like go hang out, like lay low, go for walks with them. Like even like, I mean, people are picking up crazy things in LA, like axe throwing and like, I know, oh my gosh, I do pottery. I will not shut up about that. I love pottery. Do things that you would want to do if you were a kid, because kids don't drink and do really fun freaking activities. And as adults, we should be doing those activities too. And I hope that, you know, that ties right into our question for our callers, which is, what do you do that heals your inner child? Because for me, I feel like I'm healing my inner child by doing the activities that I would have loved to do when I was younger. And maybe I lost a little bit of my adolescence by drinking a bit younger, but I'm making up for it now. I do pottery. I just bought a piano. That could have been a rose for this week. I love my piano. Also, what are some of the things that I love doing? I mean, I feel like traveling, that's obviously like not really that much of like healing an inner child vibe. I feel like to heal my inner child lately, it's been that I'm dressing in a way that I would have thought I looked cool when I was a kid. And making my home look a way that I thought would have been cool if I was a kid. Okay? Play your Nintendo Switch. Go outside. Go for walks. Play card games with your friends. I have a whole bookshelf of board games in my kitchen, and I've started like Brew and I will wake up in the morning and open it and like play a game in the morning together, which is like, what is it, like Connect 4 that we're playing, or like Yahtzee, but like over a cup of coffee. It's definitely healing my inner child. I'm obsessed with it. So if you guys need to do things that are like not alcohol related, just think of what you would have wanted to do when you were a kid. And I want to hear what you're doing right now in life to heal your inner child. So let's listen to some of these voicemails.
Hello, it's Lauren. So nice talking to you, Anna. And what I do to heal my inner child is I keep every single birthday card, holiday card, graduation, no matter what card I get, I will keep it. And every once in a while, I'll go through and reread the ones from my older birthdays or older Christmases. And it just makes me smile seeing all the cute little words that people say, just to remind myself that I am loved and that I have been loved, and just that people really do care about you sometimes if you don't feel like it. And something that I did that was great was just for myself. I just like to take time for myself, and I love to go shopping.
I love that for you.
So I did a little Christmas shopping for everybody,
Yes.
and that always brings my spirits up, just showing back everyone that I love them. But anyways, it was great talking to you, and I hope you repurpose this soon. Love you.
I love you. Oh my gosh, wait, I got so many chills when she said that. She reads back all the cards. First off, I do that. I love reading my old cards, and I keep them all in a little cigar box. That's from my great grandma Anna, which is kind of funny. So I have like a cigar box of like all the cards that I've gotten from birthdays or celebrations, or like especially ones from partners, like not partners, but from Brew, is like I will keep them all in like a little box that I can go through and like read these really beautiful letters that he's written me from super early in our relationship, or from birthdays or anniversaries. Oh my gosh. That just healed my inner child, is hearing how lovely she is. Oh my gosh. Thanks for sharing that. I totally agree. I think that's a big one. And the shopping and giving back to people you love. You guys know I'm a gift giving girly. Like I cannot stop myself. So that's a big one for me too, I would say, is like treating people the way that like I love to be spoiled. I love spoiling people around me for that reason too. Amazing. Let's hear another one.
Hey Anna, I saw your Instagram story which said how we choose to heal our inner child. And something I do to heal my inner child is doing all the things that I couldn't do when I was younger. So whether that's eating an extra piece of chocolate or staying up a couple minutes before my usual bedtime, or just really watching that one more episode, reading that one more chapter, and kind of doing things that I maybe didn't get to do as a child really kind of fulfills me in small ways, but really makes me super happy. Thanks. Bye.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. The way that, okay, any girlies with the strict parents, I feel like feel that on such another core. Is like, she said that it's having like that extra piece of chocolate or like watching an extra episode. Staying up past my bedtime. There's something when you like start living alone that I feel like when you realize you have like full self-control, like I will stay up until 2:00 in the morning doing my self-care, not a care in the world. Like it is the greatest thing, having like a small sense of independence. I feel like that independence is what heals your inner child a little bit too. And like I relate to that on such a deep chord of like, it feels nice to have like my own little individuality. So I couldn't agree more. Well, you guys, that's a wrap on this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I'm so happy to be in your ears, in your car, in your life, in your day. And I'm even more happy that you are here. So don't forget to follow along the podcast at The Anna Guide on Instagram and TikTok. You can follow me personally at Anna X Tatar on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And also don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Anna's Guide podcast on YouTube, where you can find all of your episode videos and just stay checked in with us. Thank you so much, you guys. I'm so happy you're here. This podcast brings me so much joy and getting to share my life with you. So let's look forward to next week, where we're talking about something very near and dear, very close to my heart. Someone maybe making an appearance who not only was a little bit of a part of this episode too in my college experience, but who's a big part of my life now too, and is also getting married. It's a little rude. It's to somebody, not me. But listen, we're going to go check in on her in the state that I grew up in. So I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye. Ooh, so official, because this episode of Anna's Guide is brought to you by Command Brand. Command makes it easy and worry-free to create a space that reflects who you are with damage-free hanging products. I know on socials you guys are always asking me about my DIY tips and tricks, and honestly, Command products are my go-to whenever I feel like I need to make a quick change to my apartment or make my house feel more like a home. My favorite part about Command products is that they're so versatile and I can change and move with my style as I feel, and they leave no marks, no residue, and don't ruin any of my walls. So you can visit command.com to find out where to buy Command products on this back to college season.